From this video, my main intention is for you to start becoming explicitly aware of the words and thoughts that you are using. I heard words and thoughts to be described specifically as energy. And to make that more granular and precise, every single thought is energy. It has its own power and momentum. This is really important when it comes to our life and how it unfolds. Because the words that we use, and the word starts within, is quietly, secretly, in private, shaping the world that we experience. Words are powerful. And it's really important to, when I talk about the word is, it starts from within. Because sometimes the world of the words that we say in the world of appearance can be very different to the words that we are whispering to ourselves in secret. And it's the words that we whisper to ourselves in secret is very much linked to what we feel at our deepest. The roots and depth of our fear, of our shame, of those really dense emotions that we more often than not don't vocalize, we don't say out loud. They just are whispering quietly, autonomously in the background. One of the really important words there is autonomously. There is an autonomy to this felt sense, depth of feeling what's happening within us. And it's from that depth that has the most profound influence on the world that we experience. When it comes to how things unfold in situations, circumstances, peoples, persons. A really great example of this is suppressed anger. When we have anger as an emotion that's not fully expressed and it's just going off in the background, and I sometimes feel that the people that would say that they're very introverted and sensitive can definitely come into this deep suppression of anger. And I'm talking about this from my own experience. And it's from that depth of suppression, that voice that's happening within us, that's powered by the emotion of anger, even though we don't say it, and we may not even appear to the world that we are angry. People may actually say that you seem quite together. But we'll start to experience things in the external world. I experienced this in my own journey. I had many years ago, I navigated through many years of anger, going from suppressed and expressed, very volatile, reactive. And even when I thought I was feeling, I went through different awakenings, I was feeling like I was processing forward, I would start to come into contact with, and people would manifest who would be the animation of anger. Very angry people would be in my life. And I was very confused at the time, not knowing what I know now. That I had a vibration within me that needed and required processing. It needed to be allowed to be expressed. It was suppressed so much, it was being expressed in people within my life. And there was lots of volatility and lots of reactivity with myself and the people in my life, specific people as well. Sometimes it would be a manifestation just within one person, but it would be very catabolic. And it can lead to a lot of confusion. It can lead to a lot of confusion. Like, why is this person here? Especially when you feel like you're on a spiritual path and you feel like, oh, I'm following this. I'm awakening. I'm awakening now. You almost have an arrogance. I'm awake now. Why is this happening? Why is this happening to me? Why is this person here? But when really it's just a deep reflection of a really deep vibration happening within. And it's from that vibration which stimulates the word, those inner whispers that are happening within us. And a whisper doesn't have to be a word. That inner whisper is a vibration at its deepest level. So we have to be we have to be fully open to the process. Being in a state of allowing really helps when it comes to these parts of ourselves just playing out. Sometimes we have to go through weeks, months, maybe a few years of experiencing these different degrees of volatility. And we can look back and reflect of how could I have made this a little bit smoother? When really it's the state of allowing which helps us process through all of this that's coming up. Becoming more aware of what's happening within inside you. To start listening to how your inner world is communicating with you energetically, physically, and going deep within to release and iron out these vibrations and these parts of ourselves that require processing. And what you'll stumble across is the perfect alignment, the tools and tricks that will help you with that process of processing all of this, what's happening within. Where we hold that within our body, where does it need to be released within our body? We'll be devoted to this. We'll have this deep calling and pull to start resolving these crinkles within our vibration. And it's a gradient effect where we'll keep devoting to it, keep coming back to, it's okay. This is just something that needs to play out right now. And it's through that process, really, you start to become really, you hold words, you hold so much in reverence, and you start to respect really profoundly. When you become more conscious about the words that you are using within, you become more and more aware of where this is all coming from. You can actually start to get to a point where you can start to actually catch the energy before it turns into a word. You can start to feel into the energy of anger. You can feel into the energy of shame. You can feel into the energy of all of those denser emotions that are playing out within. And you start to utilize the conscious mind more consciously, because it's within the conscious mind that's intimately connected to this vibrational landscape, which is then expressed within the conscious mind through words, sentences, paragraphs. And it's through this process we become more conscious of the unconscious aspects. There's lots of unconscious aspects of the conscious mind. The vibration as it sprouts into a word, into a sentence. Before you know it, you're lost in the story. And what all these dense emotions, they just end up manifesting as different stories playing out within, which then start to play out as theater in the world out there. So this is where pattern recognition comes in, is really, really important and extremely necessary at catching the vibrations as they come up, because recognition is one of the key components to neutralizing a vibration of, let's say, anger to manifest into a story. You start to develop the capacity of awareness to catch it really, really early on before it really turns into a book of a story of around whatever specific emotion that may be. Because once you get to the roots of that, you actually start to let go of all the words, the sentences, the paragraphs, the whole book associated with that emotion. Emotion and frequency are very much connected, and then it spawns into all the thoughts that are associated with that So this is where we start to really clear out the closet of what's happening within us. We start to go away from the old self, which all those stories are, and going into the becoming of the new self and the new story, the development of the new story. And the new story comes with less words. The new story comes with more of a felt sense experience. The still small voice within is very still and very small and only utters a few words, but those words are powerful enough to start a totally new trajectory. And the power of your words becomes more and more important to you to tune into what's actually true and what's actually false. What words are true, what frequency, what vibration is true within me, what is eternal, what is forever. And it's the forever and the eternal that you start tuning into. And it's the eternal and forever which is aligned with the still small voice of guidance. And it's from that still small voice that you start to be pulled into and ascend into what you have become, what you are becoming, what you have been sent here for. So, my friends, become very aware of your words, become very aware of thoughts, become very aware of the source of those thoughts, the vibration and frequency, increase the pattern recognition, increase the capacity to neutralize anything before a false story emerging. Because it's from false stories that we experience all the discord within our experience. And be patient with yourself. Be loving, forgiving, and patient and compassionate to self through this process, because it's going to take devotion and patience. Devotion and patience are very much intertwined. So let me know where you are on your journey of pattern recognition, of noticing the power of your words, what's being expressed in the external world that you need to give yourself a little bit more love, compassion, forgiveness for what's needing to be processed through you at the current time. Being someone who's chosen to do this comes with a lot of responsibility, and it comes with a lot of feeling of, oh man, there's a gift here. There's something, this has been gifted to me. To be gifted the gift of sight and vision comes with a lot of responsibility. So trust your process, my friend. I definitely trust your process. Send me some love in the comments and let me know where you are. And I cannot wait already to see you in the next video.